The subject for this video review is going to be Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy, Autobot Blaster, and Eject. Oops, so we're going to deal with this little guy later on. Okay, so back to the magazine caddy you go, boy. Okay, so dimensions in Blaster's alternate form: length, height, and details up front, details on the back, weapon storage, peg, and hole, and details on Blaster's blaster. Okay, so putting that aside, we're ready to transform this guy. Okay, so let's move the camera back and a little bit out of focus. So let's start with these sections. So separate them and rotate, and they're going to plug on these two. Okay. Oopsie daisies. Okay, there you go. Now we're going to separate the legs. So this is going to be the leg section. So just with your finger, just insert your pointer on these sides of the cassette tape to disengage the leg. There you go. Oop. So it's just going to be that easy. Okay, so the head, you could already open this back, and with a tool you could already expose the head unit. Okay, so let's check orientation once again. Okay, now we could move on towards forming the arms. So lower them up, because it's going to fold in this way, and the handsets are going to clip because we have a peg and that hole, and it's going to stay in that spot. Okay, so same thing with the other arm. Now we're going to straighten things out that way and just rotate for function. Okay, so elbow bend, you know that you already did it right. Once you have the elbow bend in the right spot. Okay, so rotate. There you go. So elbow bends. Now this section, rotate. So it's going to be the front part, this, and lower the legs and move towards the side of the shins. So lower these parts, move to the other leg, lower those parts, and rotate. Okay, let's adjust the camera. Now the last piece that we're going to do is going to with regards to the foot. Okay, so just very easy, just lower this section instead of using a tool. There you go. So we have formed the foot. So those are now exposed. And the last part, of course, we're just going to pop them in. And just the other side of the boombox speakers. Okay, so there you go. We already formed Autobot Blaster. Okay, so a little bit of action pose. Put that aside, and let's give him his blaster. Okay, so let's do a 360 view of the action figure, so we could really take a look at the details. Articulation points. The head is on a ball joint, so head tilts, left and right movement, very possible. We also have rotation on the waistline, so it's not only because of transformation. We have rotation on the bicep, single bend on the elbow, and because of transformation we don't have any rotating function or hinge function for the handsets. Okay, but the poses are possible. As for the leg, full range of motion, kicking forward, side kicks, and of course just raise the flap for back kick. Single bend of articulation for the knee, and we have a side hinge for the foot, and because of transformation, that is the articulation for the foot or the toe. Okay, as for height of the tape measure back, there you go. So that's almost just below the 7-inch mark, actually 6.5 inches, a little just above the 6.5-inch mark, 6.7 I think. Okay, so we're ready to transform Blaster. Okay, so once again, let's get rid of the weapon. And let's hide the head first. So let's move to the back. The battery section is supposed to be for a cassette player or a boombox. So this, you lower this section, and you're going to hide the head. There you go. And snap it into place. Okay, as for the arms, so we're going to do this first. And tab, so that's a very small tab, and that's going to fit in that hole, supposed to be. Try to, as much as possible, snap it into place. Here you go. Now check orientation. So we're going to rotate the arm that way to allow for folding function. Okay, so once again, let's check orientation. Next piece, we're going to rotate to waist. And we're going to raise that a little bit. Okay, so once again, let's check orientation. So back, front. Okay, so from this position we're ready to open these flaps and expose this section. And well, of course we have to fold the toes in and flip the speakers over. Okay, so in alternate form it's going to be the grilled section. In robot form it's going to be the round section, or depends on how you want to display your blaster action figure. So yeah, okay. So from this position we're going to rotate the legs sideways that way. Now you know that you're doing it right because the components of the boombox or the cassette player, you have them all here up front. When you check out the back side, you have the carrying handle, so you know you're doing it right. Okay, so moving back, so check that out. Those are pegs, and that's going to engage in that hole. Okay, so that's to make the transformation easy, and as much as possible align the forearms so you won't be hard up with regards to folding this section over. Okay, but we're just going to do this first. Connect that point to that point. Okay, so there you go, connection point number 1. Try as much as possible to have a nice alignment so you could fold this section in. And just check out tabs and those tabs. Okay, so they're going to fall into place. Okay, so we're ready to fold that in. Make sure that the hands are in a right position, that they're not going to be in the way of transformation of the leg. Okay, so let's check the, oops, okay, so that's what happened. So we're just going to repeg that, and we're going to once again connect this piece, and let's check for alignment. There you go, nice clean alignment, and let's attempt once again to fold it in. Okay, there you go. So it's better to have this flap piece at a angle first instead of a down position. Okay, to facilitate the movement of the leg. Okay, and peg it into place. Okay, lift that section once again, and we're going to do the other leg. Okay, so connection point, peg, and vault it in. There you go. Okay, so same procedure as the other leg. We're just going to fold it in. Okay, so lift that flap, and I think this is going to be a better section. Okay, yeah, so we're already in the boombox or the cassette player mode. Okay, so you have those pegs and those connection points. Okay, so make sure that they tab into place. And let's check alignment. There you go. So nice and fully formed. So last part's going to be the carry handle. So just lift these sections and rotate forwards and lock into place. There you go. And as for storage of the weapon, as I demonstrated early on the video, or if you want a antenna function, so just peg it on either of the holes, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 3. Depends on where you want to situate it. Okay, so for my intended purpose, it's going to be on that side. So when I display this on my table, it looks like it has a antenna. Okay, so let's deal with eject. Eject, very easy transformation mode. So as you could see, that's the head. So just flip the cassette over. So legs and folded arms. So what you're just going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, and with the help of the tool, we're going to lift that head, because it's really nicely folded in. Okay. So this is the details of Autobot eject. And that's how he scales with Blaster. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.